Alright, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to this emergency video about the Appalachian Trail. Not really an emergency, but last minute video. I did not plan on making this video when I woke up today. I'm still going to have my regular upload tomorrow, my regular Thursday upload. So this is just a bonus video. I'm also a little sick, if you couldn't tell by my voice there. But one take, hopefully, or minimal editing here. I want to go over this controversy about the Appalachian Trail Conservancy and them not recognizing certain thru hikers from the Appalachian Trail 2021 thru hiking season. What's the deal with that? Spoiler alert, COVID stuff. I usually don't get into controversies like this on my channel. I'll talk about like gear controversies and be a jerk when it comes to that. I'll make fun of people that hike with camp chairs all day, but generally speaking, I like to stay away from the controversial stuff. That being said, this is kind of important to a lot of people, and of course it is kind of important to me too, because I hiked the Appalachian Trail, of course, before all this COVID stuff happened. This is when I did it, but I don't know, it's important to a lot of people. That being said, I'm not gonna try to give my opinion too much. I'm gonna try to stay neutral. I'm not here to defend the ATC. I'm also not here to condemn the ATC. I just want to lay out what this controversy is and what I think folks can do about it if they are upset about it, if that makes any sense at all. So if you're familiar with what's going on, then I apologize for repeating some stuff here, but I'm going to start at the very basic level. I'm sure there's some folks watching that might not even know what the ATC is. They might not know what ATC recognition is, and they might not know why it matters, and they might not know what's going on here. So I'm going to explain all that stuff as best I can. Like I said, last minute video here. I threw together some notes that are on my monitor that you can't see here. So that being said, I want everybody to read the comments section of this video, because if I get anything wrong, or there's probably going to be some stuff that I leave out, or maybe I question while I'm talking about it, I'm sure there's going to be some folks in the comments that are going to know the answers to those questions. And so yeah, read the comment section just to hold me accountable. I'm not going to guarantee that everything is completely accurate in here. This is just a quick video going over what's happening. And yeah, so anyways, this all came to my attention today when I saw a picture of an email that somebody received from the ATC. Somebody posted it on Facebook, and I've known that the ATC was not recognizing certain thru hikers because of COVID stuff. I've known about that for a while, but when I saw this screenshot of this email, I don't know, it really stuck out to me. I'm going to keep the hiker anonymous who received this email, but this email was received after this hiker completed the Appalachian Trail. Here's what it says. It says, "Hello, mystery hiker. Thank you for your honesty. Depending on what date you got to High Top, you could be able to cobble together the miles for a 2,000 miler certificate. Unfortunately, because of the miles hiked between 315 2021 and 5/11 2021, that's mid-March to mid-May, we cannot certify your thru hike. Sections hiked between those dates must be repeated in order to receive a certificate. Please let me know if you're interested in resubmitting your application," and blah blah blah. So yeah, basically, I guess this hiker was trying to correspond with the ATC to figure out if he was going to be able to be recognized for his thru hike. And I thought this was kind of crazy that they basically were straight up no, we can't recognize your thru hike. Even though you did it all, we can't recognize it because you hiked it between these certain dates when technically the ATC wasn't recognizing thru hikes. And I'm going to get into that in just a second, what that policy is right now. But first, I just want to explain what the ATC even is. This is their website. It's the Appalachian Trail Conservancy. And basically, they are the organization that oversees the Appalachian Trail. It's a nonprofit group. They don't own the Appalachian Trail. A lot of the Appalachian Trail, I'd say probably most of it, is on public land. So not on the ATC's land, but this is the nonprofit that oversees the trail. In fact, their mission statement, I have it right here, says, "Our mission is to protect, manage, and advocate for the Appalachian Trail." And that's basically what they do. They've been around for a long, long time. They also organize trail maintenance. They have these chapters of the ATC, local chapters all throughout the trail, and they kind of oversee all of the trail maintenance. Not all of it, but probably most of it in that regard. So very important organization. The Appalachian Trail, as we know it, would not exist, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but in my opinion, the Appalachian Trail, as we know it, probably wouldn't exist the way it does now if it wasn't for the ATC. And another thing that the ATC does, which, to be honest with you, probably isn't as significant as all the trail work and all the conservation work they do, is that they recognize people who thru hike the entire Appalachian Trail. They give you a certificate. They keep your name and a historical record of people who have hiked the trail, just things like that. And to be honest with you, I don't even know for sure what that entails because I didn't really, well, not really, I didn't apply to have them recognize my thru hike when I finished it. But it's something that's important to a lot of people. So basically, I have the application here that you fill out after you finish. And I don't know, I guess before I go into this, I'll just talk a little bit more about why or why not ATC recognition even matters. Because like I said, for me, I didn't give a shit. I hiked the long trail, not the Appalachian Trail, the long trail back when I was in high school. And that was the first big thru hike, or actually it was a section hike, but first hiking accomplishment I had ever had. And at the time, after I finished it, I was very, very excited. And so I went to the Green Mountain Club, which is like the ATC equivalent for the long trail. And I submitted my application. I got my certificate. I got recognized, all that stuff. But ever since then, every other hiking accomplishment that I've ever done, the AT, the Northville Placid Trail, the Adirondack 46, White Mountain 48, just to brag a little bit and name a couple of them there. Every other accomplishment I've ever done that I could have gotten recognition for, the long trail a second time a few years later, I never did. I just don't care, personally. I just do not give a shit. It's cool and all, but even after I finished the AT, I couldn't be bothered to even fill out this application here. But that's just me. That's not me saying that it shouldn't matter for other people, because I can absolutely understand why it would matter. I mean, the ATC is the organization that oversees this trail that you just hiked. So obviously, it would feel good for a lot of people to get official recognition from them, even if it, doesn't necessarily change the fact that they already hiked the trail. So, yeah, I just want to throw that out there. A lot of people care. A lot of people don't care. And whenever people talk about this whole controversy I'm going to get into here, the first thing that somebody else will always comment is why do you care about recognition? It doesn't matter. You still hike the trail. Why does it matter? And it's yeah, you might feel that way. I feel that way personally, but I don't think we can just assume that everybody feels that way. And I understand why people want recognition for it. So anyways, let's look at this application a little bit. You basically just, fill out whatever it is. And this is the part I want to talk about right here. Notice to the thru hikers who left the AT in March 2020 due to the COVID pandemic. Due to the unique risks of spreading COVID while thru hiking, the ATC asked all thru hikers on trail to leave by March 31st, 2020. This guidance remained in place until May 11th, 2021. For any thru hikers that follow this guidance, the ATC will count the miles hiked in 2019 and 2020 prior to March 31st towards the completion of a thru hike attempted after May 11th, 2021. These hikers will have 12 months from the date they choose to resume their hikes to complete, blah, blah, blah. And this line right here is the big controversy. Miles hiked between March 31st, 2020 and May 11th, 2021 will not be counted towards 2,000 miler recognition, which goes back to the anonymous email here that I shared a few minutes ago. That's basically the policy that they were citing when they told this guy that, well, yeah, you got to go back and re-hike those miles, which obviously, I shouldn't say obviously, maybe he will, but I kind of doubt he's going to do. So this is really controversial, and let me say, just let's all keep in perspective here. The 2020 part, it's I guess I'm going to share my opinion a little bit here. Like I said, I wouldn't, but it's I kind of I don't want to say I agree with it necessarily, but I kind of understand what they were doing, back at the beginning of the pandemic, because let's be honest, nobody had any idea what the hell was going on in this country. Places were getting shut down by the government. People were freaking out. And so the ATC, they had to do something, right? I don't know if this was the right thing, but they had to do something. And so it was probably a very last minute decision, one that they didn't have that much like time to make a decision here. So they probably just hastily did it like everybody else that was making, important decisions around this time. And so I don't know. Again, I don't know if I agree with it, but I can't really like blame them too much for that. However, I think the more controversial part comes in when we get closer to May 11th of this year, 2021, because at that point, a lot of places had opened up. And also keep in mind, it's tricky for the ATC because the Appalachian Trail spans 14 different states. And as most of us know at this point, every state had a slightly different response, in some cases significantly different response to the pandemic. So it's like what are they, they are, I gotta be honest here, like they are kind of in a tough spot when it comes to this, because no matter what they did, there was going to be people that were pissed off about it. But as we get closer, going back to this May 11th, 2021 thing, I think that's where the more controversial thing comes in, because after May 11th, if you started on May 12th, 2021 and hiked this year, obviously, your hike is going to be recognized by them. But if you started just before that, it's not going to be recognized. And the thing is, most people who go northbound on the Appalachian Trail, which is the majority of thru hikers, are going to start before May 11th. Although it's kind of funny because I started May 14th, so I would have been good. Haha, screw you guys. Just kidding. Of course, I hiked in 2018, so it doesn't matter anyways. But most people who go northbound are going to start in March and April. A lot of people even starting in February now. And so they're kind of out of luck here. They're not going to get recognized by the ATC. And that's why people are upset. And so I'm not here to say whether that's right or wrong, but that's just the reality of the situation. And so I kind of want to share some information for people who are upset because they seem to be the most vocal about this issue right now. Just kind of talking about what I think they can do instead of just, being upset on social media about this, some actual things they can do to hopefully maybe fix this issue that they see. The first thing is there is another organization, and I do not know very much about this organization at all, but there's another organization called the Appalachian Long Distance Hikers Association, which is this group right here. I'm going to say okay to their cookies there. Like I said, I don't know anything about these guys. In fact, I never even heard of them until this controversy, because this group is recognizing thru hikers from 2021. You can go to this page right here. If you hiked in 2021, you want to get a certificate or whatever, you can go here, and I believe they will recognize your hike. That's what everybody on social media is saying to the people who are upset about the ATC not recognizing their hikes. So again, I don't know what these guys do. Someone in the comments can say, I don't think they're a trail maintenance organization. Is there a about section? I don't know. Oh yeah, right here. What is ALDHA? An off-trail family of hikers, dreamers, and friends of the trail working to preserve, protect, and promote the long-distance hiking experience. So that makes it sound like it's more of a cultural thing, less of a trail maintenance thing. Again, I'm not really sure. I'll let you go to this website and find out for yourself. But I know they're giving certificates for people who hiked the AT this year. So that's an option if you're upset about it. Obviously, it's probably not quite the same as getting recognized by the ATC itself, but at least you can still get your certificate if that means a lot to you. And there's another thing that you can do if you're really, really pissed off about this. I see a lot of people just shitting on the ATC for their decision here, for this decision right here specifically. And I understand the anger, and a lot of people are saying oh, screw the ATC. The ATC is a joke. The ATC doesn't matter and all this stuff. And I just want to say, I don't think that attitude is correct. I think, if anything, you should be upset with the leadership of the ATC, not the group itself. That's a really important distinction, because the ATC as an organization does a lot of really, really important work for the Appalachian Trail. When I hiked in 2018, I met a lot of folks who were working as ridge runners for the ATC, people doing trail work for the ATC. I stopped in at the headquarters in Harper's Ferry halfway through. They were really, really nice to me. And so I understand why people are upset at the ATC for this. But it seems kind of a knee-jerk reaction. I think you should be, if you are upset, I think you should be upset with the leadership of the ATC, not at the ATC. I see people saying that they're going to like cancel their memberships, that they were going to join, but now they're not going to join because of this, which, like, again, I understand that, honestly. I think that's the wrong solution here. I think the solution, and I know this is hard to tell somebody they should give their money to an organization they don't agree with right now, but I think the best thing you can do right now, if you're upset about this decision, is to actually join the ATC. And when you become a member, my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but my understanding is when you become a member, you can actually vote for or against board members when they have their elections. I tried to find when their next election is. I couldn't find it, so I'm guessing it's probably a few years, but I'm not sure. If anybody knows, please comment when the next ATC election is. But that's my recommendation. If you're really upset about this, instead of boycotting the ATC, I think you should actually join the ATC and vote and support, maybe even run for the board yourself. I'm not really sure exactly how like the politics of everything works, what power the board members have, and I'm assuming they must have like a lot of power, right? If that's the whole point of it, if you're voting on it and stuff. So that's my recommendation. If you're pissed off about it, join and vote and change it, because the organization itself is not going anywhere, and it's an important organization. And if you really feel strongly about this, you should work to actually change it rather than just, trying to boycott it or whatever. So that's my opinion. Video coming out tomorrow, actually, about the Appalachian Trail, about thru hiking. So subscribe if you haven't already. Be tuned in for that. Go follow me on Instagram, Patreon, all that good stuff. Thank you, everybody, and happy hiking.